Hello everyone, I hope you're having a gorgeous summer. It's not so gorgeous here, it's fairly dull, but the salvias are flowering and I'm obsessed with them, totally obsessed. I've got so many different varieties. So this one is called Tutti Frutti and it's got this lovely pink with a slightly darker calyx, you see. And the leaves smell amazing. This is a shrubby salvia, and these are the ones I'm going to be showing you today. This is a bright pink one called Jackson's Cassis, and then I've got a blue one here which is called Blue Note, and they're all quite hardy, and now is a great time to take cuttings to make more little plants. Once you've taken the cuttings, they will need to stay under cover over winter, just until they're a big enough plant to plant out. So best to plant them out sort of next year, next spring. But it's really easy to take cuttings. I've actually taken some off another couple of shrubby salvias that I love. This one, which is called Nachflinder, which has this lovely deep purple flower, and then this one is called Cherry Potosi, which I think I've talked about before. But all you do is take a snippet off the plant. Ideally, you want to try and find a non-flowering shoot and one that's preferably a sort of side shoot off the main stem. So this is, this has come off the main stem here, and you can see you've got two little shoots here. So all you have to do, there are probably three rules. The first is when you're taking your cutting, you need to snip it off just below a leaf node. Can you see there's a pair of leaves there, or quite a few leaves there actually, and I'm cutting it just below that. Oh, and there's my puppy. And then what you want to do, the next rule is that you basically, plants need to photosynthesize, but obviously I've taken away its water source by cutting it off. So it's not made any roots yet, and what we want to do is try and encourage it to make roots. We don't therefore want to leave too many leaves on, because obviously it has no way of getting water, and therefore any water that is lost through the leaves makes it even more dehydrated. So you want to try and take out as many of these leaves as possible. So I'm just going to take them off with my thumb and forefinger. Some people use snips, but you just want to make sure that everything's as clean as possible. I mean, these have been sterilised before doing this, just in case I use them for some other plant that had some disease that I didn't know about. And lots of people use snips to take off the leaves, but I just use my thumb and forefinger. The next rule is, so you want to basically minimise the amount of leaves that are there, so they don't transpire too much, but there are enough leaves to make food for the plant. And the next rule is to take out the growing tip. So this is the central growing tip. It's actually, I think, just about to become a flower bud, but I'm going to take it off in the middle, and then you're left, can you see that? You're left with just two little baby leaves at the top and a long sort of pencil length cutting, which has been cut off just below a leaf node. And then all you do is take a pot of compost. This is just multi-purpose, mixed with a bit of perlite, and it's a 9cm pot. And I tend to put them around the edge of the pot, just because, I mean, there are a few reasons for that. I think it's good for drainage. So when you do come to water, which you don't want to do very much because they will rot quite easily, but when you do come to water, it flows away quite easily. Secondly, I feel like it's slightly warmer against the edges of the pot. And thirdly, and I think probably most importantly, we're trying to encourage root formation and a really strong root ball. And so when you put the cutting in and push it up, not directly against the pot, but the idea is as close to the edge as possible, Once the roots start forming, eventually they will hit the edges of the pot, and then that will encourage them to create more roots and more fibrous roots, which is what you want, because you want a really good root ball for the plant to be able to take up all its goodness and water and everything. So that is it. I'm going to do another one for you so you can see. And this is Cherry Potosi. So here again, I'm going to cut just below a leaf node, like that. And the reason you do it just below a leaf node is because there, that point has the maximum amount of what's called meristem, which is the hormone required to make different parts of the plant. In this case, roots. We want roots, and so that will, you know, have the maximum chance of actually rooting. Take out the central tip. Take off probably one more leaf. I'm going to leave 3 little leaves there for this one. And then I don't use rooting powder. Some people do, but I never have, and it seems to work fine. And then just make a hole with your dibber and plop it into the pot up against the corner. And then I'll carry on going round like that. I'll probably water from underneath, because I think one of the main problems that you can get with cuttings is that they rot, and that's often caused by watering from on top, because they rot at the surface of the soil. And you really want to keep them on the drier side if possible. You don't need to water them that much. This will be sunk into a basin of water, literally just for sort of half an hour to soak up what it wants. And then, sorry, you can hear the dogs in the background. And then I'll leave it to drain really, really well. And then I probably, what I'll do then to stop it transpiring more is I put a plastic bag over the top. So just any old plastic bag. And I keep these and reuse them, obviously. But put it over the top to kind of form a little microclimate for it. And then I secure it with a rubber band. I'm going to add some more, but I just thought I'd show you how I do that. And then that stops the transpiration as well. And then they live in their little greenhouse. I'll put them in my cold frame, or I might have them in the greenhouse, but out of direct sun. That's really important. They don't want to get scorched or anything. And then, so you're minimising the amount of water loss then as well, because you know, that's they want to stay damp but not too wet. And as I say, I think some of the problems that you can, you know, get with cuttings is when people overwater them. So I would water them once from underneath now at the beginning, and then leave them, and they should stay fairly damp. If they dry out completely, give them another water from underneath. But in the next sort of 4 to 5 weeks, you should start to see growth on the top and little roots coming underneath. And then they'll be ready to put on into another 9cm pot, so you do them individually, and then keep them under cover for the next, you know, over the winter until probably March, April, when they should start showing signs of growth again. You can give them a bit of a haircut, and then you can plant them out. So good luck with that. I hope it helps. You can do this with lots of different plants. Things like pelargoniums, really good for cuttings at this time of year. Lavender, rosemary, it's all the same process. Just cut beneath the leaf node, take out the growing tip, and put into some free draining compost, water from underneath. Cover things like salvias. You don't need to cover things like pelargoniums, they don't like it. But most things I do a little mini greenhouse like this for. Yeah, see how you get on. Let me know if you've got any questions. All right, speak to you later. Bye.